that. Ooh. Oh. Hello everyone, welcome back to Center Stand Mechanics. My name is Kyle, and today is going to be an exciting day. I got a few things left to put on the bike, and we should be able to start it up for the first time. Well, second time, but first time with a new, different head with good spark plug holes. For some of you that have been watching, you probably see me go through this already once before, but we're doing it again because I had a bit of a setback and I had to take the head back off the bike and swap it for a different one. And so now I'm at the point where I've got the engine in the bike. I've got to put a few things on here. I've got to hook up all the wiring, put in the carburetors, put the exhaust on. I want to check the timing. Got to plug in some of this wiring. You know, take care of whatever I need to do. Oh, I got to put a battery into it, stuff like that. So I got some things going on here off camera. I took this carburetor apart again. It's the carb. It's the set of carbs I had on there when I first tried starting the bike, and I was having a problem with it. I think it was dumping too much fuel into the engine, and so I took everything apart under here, cleaned it really well. It has this type of float, and on one of the carbs this was crushed in, and so what I did is I drilled a little hole. I got my air compressor and I hit it with air and it puffed it out, and then I just resoldered over the hole. I have a new carb kit coming in the mail for this set of carbs, but it hasn't showed up yet, so I've put together the best I could with what I got going on here, but I'd like to rebuild this down the road. I had this other set of carbs here. Now this is also for the same bike, but it's a different type of carb. It's got a narrower diameter bore here for the you know, the intake, and it's a little bit different. And of course, the first thing I did is I took the float bowls off, and one of the posts for the float was broken off and gone. It wasn't even inside here. I don't know what happened to it. So this carb is pretty much junk. This one probably fixable, but this one is there's ways of drilling this out if you had the old post and, you know, gluing it on, but that's kind of hokey, and I don't really believe in stuff like that. You know, I'm sure it works fine, whatever, but to me it's just the body of this carb is probably junk. I'm probably going to strip everything off of it and just keep it in a little jar. And then what I was thinking of doing is maybe keeping this one, and down the road I'd like to make this bike a single carb engine. And the only thing is, is the throttle and everything's on this carb that's no good, so I'd have to swap this throttle bar over to this side. I'm not sure if that's possible or not, but I might look into that down the road and then maybe use this carb as a single carb setup. But as you can tell, everything is completely corroded in here. It's seen better days for sure, so it needs a lot of work, so I'll put that one aside for now. One thing I ended up doing is I ordered new intake manifolds and gaskets. These are the ones that came off the bike. Let's see if I can get this apart. If you look at them closely, they're all cracked, and it's all cracked, and the inside here is all cracked up, and it's never going to run right with this type of intake manifold. It's just going to leak air, and you're never going to be able to tune it properly. It's just, You know, it's pretty much garbage. And I have like a whole bunch of old used intake manifolds, and they're all like that. And some of them are for, see, this is too big for this carb, so some of them are for this set of carbs, and some of them are for the smaller diameter. And they all got problems. So those are no good. But I got these ones in the mail, so these are fresh. And I'm going to swap over these little metal brackets that go on top of them. I've seen these on a lot of the earlier Yamahas and stuff, and I think they just kind of help strengthen the, you know, when the carb's hanging off of it. And there's a lot of vibration coming out of that engine, so when the carb is sitting there, it doesn't just wiggle away and break this. So these I think are fairly important. You put them on over top like that. If I got the right one, I'm not sure if it's the right one or not. Maybe that one goes there. I don't know. I'll have a closer look at that. And we'll get that all set up. With any luck, we'll get this thing fired up. Oh, another thing I got was I got a new throttle cable. I was looking around in all my stuff, and I thought I might be able to piece together a throttle cable for this. And all the cables I pulled out of my boxes, none of them would fit or work, or were in worse shape than what I had. So I ended up getting a new throttle cable, and I'll put that on because last time I started it, I didn't have a throttle cable. I was doing it by hand, and this will be a little more civilized and stuff. But yeah. So yeah, so it should be a good video for you guys. So let's get started, okay? Okay, I'm gonna sort out some of this wiring and stuff here. Just placing the spark plug on. I haven't fully hooked that up yet. Okay, so points come around up and plug in, and they're color coded. This one's got some orange on it, and this one's sort of a, I don't know, maybe a yellow or a clear, maybe white, I don't know, it's kind of dirty. But this one up here has some orange on it, so we'll plug it in, the orange one. And then there's one right beside it, that's white. And these are a double clip, so here's a single going into a double. And then there's these two leads that come out of the condenser. And then, so they share the other terminals in these doubles. And then this one's a ground. I'm just going to find a path to route this one. And then, so it's off the engine. And then there's a ground. It goes up to here somewhere. This ground actually goes up. It comes off the frame here, goes up, plugs into this wiring harness, and then works its way up into the handlebar. And then, because these handlebars are rubber mounted through here, there's no good way to get a ground up into the handlebar to make all your switches work. So what they've done is they've taken this ground off of here, it goes up into here, and then finds its way back into this handlebar switch. And then when you get this off, there's a little sharp little barb thing, and it digs into the handlebar when you clamp this down, and then that makes the handlebar a ground, and then which comes over here, and there's another one on this side on the, I don't know if you can see it, and then it grounds through this little post, and then that's how your starter button works and all that. So it's kind of a roundabout way of doing it, but I mean, it works. this this set of wires comes out of the stator, plugs into here, and then this one plugs into there. The starter lead comes down like so. Just tightening down the starter lead positive terminal for the starter here. It's kind of hard to see down in there, but just tightening it up there. That should work. Just switching these metal clamp bracket thingies over onto the new intake manifolds, and you kind of got to figure out which one goes to where. There's a right way and a wrong way, and only takes a second. If you put it on and it doesn't go flush and sit all the way down, it's probably the wrong one. And then so this is the top. It's got a little notch at the top here. So right and left. Pretty sure it'll go like so, like that on the bike. Then you want to kind of position these clamps. I always put this at the bottom and then facing out so I can, you know, tighten it from the side. See if we can get this on. And then it's a bit of a dance to get these little screws in. So sometimes they go in easy, sometimes, see, like this one. Yeah, something like that. And then I'll do the same over here. Put that over. Something like that. Do the hokey pokey and get it on there. See, like this one's tight. It's a little bit. Let's pop this metal cover off a bit. Something like that. And then I got these new intake manifold gaskets. You don't want this stuff leaking. So yeah, I ended up going new because, you know, if you have any leaks, then it's never gonna run right. And I'm probably gonna have enough troubles as it is getting this thing running right. So I wanna lessen my problems. Okay, so that should go on there like so. Okay, so there, that's on there, and you can see there's this little notch right here, and it's going to be pointing up, and that's how you know you got it on the right way. Not to go crazy tight. That should be good enough. Okay. So I'm going to put a little bit of grease around here just to help slide the carburetors on. They tend to get caught and stuck and they're hard to push on, so to avoid that, I just got some run-of-the-mill grease here. Just put a little bit in there. Help slide that on a little bit. You can really fight with these, especially when they're old and stiff and hard. These ones are new, so I don't think it'll be too much of a problem. Nothing like using brand new. That's the way to go. The last time I put these carburetors on, I found it was easier. They're really tight to get in here. This frame here is quite close, and it's really hard to sneak them past and get them on. And I found just taking this little cap cover thing off made all the difference. So I'll just take this off. It's just like a little adjustment cover piece. Put it down there, and then we'll try to get these on. There's not a lot of room in here to sneak these in. Just hits every which way, eh? I mean, there we go. So right down the bottom, I'll slide through and then bring them up. Well, I managed to get it to pop in, but that was not easy. That was actually harder than I thought it was going to be. Maybe because they're new, they hadn't stretched or something. But I almost knocked the bike over pushing so hard, trying to get those on. That was difficult. I don't want to have to do that anytime again soon. Yeah. So I'm just tightening down these clamps and making sure those are solid. I might get a zip tie just to hold this wiring out of the way just for now. And first I'll tighten this side up. Okay. I'll figure out a more permanent solution for this down the road. But for now, I just want to get it out of the way of the intake. Yeah. And then this mess of wires here, not the greatest. There's like a bare wire sitting right there. Oh, there's tapes come off. Huh. I'm gonna throw a piece of tape on that. I'm probably going to end up redoing a lot of this wiring just to tidy it up, simplify, and make stuff better. There. I'm just sort of putting that on loosely. I'm not going to bother clamping the rest of it on. Most likely this isn't the exhaust I'm going to go with. I'm thinking I'm going to make my own somehow. And I think I want to kind of, well, on the other side I want to come down through here. I go through this side, but the Kickstarter is going to be in the way, I think. So I'll probably do it on the other side, go like this. And then maybe come out here with a single carb. I think that's the plan. But that's down the road. I gotta get this thing running and work out a whole bunch of other stuff first. But eventually, I think that'll be the plan. So that'd be cool, eh? Have an exhaust come down one of the sides here. Super cool. Yeah, go to the other side. All right, just gonna put the left side exhaust on, and again I'm just doing the top part because I'm probably gonna come up with some kind of different plan. But first we got to get this thing running with what we got, and then I'll adapt and add to it later down the road once I get all the basics happening here. Okay. All right. And I was going to put this cover on that goes over here, but I'm just going to have to take it off again because I want to tighten up this sprocket, but I'm not going to do that until I get the chain on. I'll be able to lock the back wheel and then I can tighten this down properly, but I don't have the chain on to do that. So I'm going to have to wait to get this on just yet. But that won't stop us from trying to start it. Should be fine to do that. All right. Brand new throttle cable from Mike's XS. This engine takes 250 cc's of oil, it says right here. So that's 2.5 liters. I just got like the cheapest oil I could find. It's only about $6 a quart for this stuff. Because I plan on changing this oil quite frequently for the first little while, and there's no sense in buying expensive oil at this point. So I'll just put this in, and yeah, well, we'll be changing it fairly soon. I'm going to change it. I'm going to put new filters on this engine and stuff, but I want to make sure I get everything kind of worked out before I start spending that kind of money on it. This oil isn't cheap anymore. It's even the cheap stuff's getting to be fairly expensive. And then I'll just put half of this one in. I think that's halfway, but I can't really. I can't see through the transparent part. I think that's half. I'll check the dipstick in a bit here. And yeah, it shows lots of oil on there. So most of you guys already know this, but whenever you're doing these battery connections, always do the positive first. And then hook up the negative after. The reason being is, let's say you got a wrench in here or something, and you touch this to the positive, it's not going to make a short because the negative isn't hooked up. And then when you're on the negative, it's not going to matter if you short it to the frame because it's already negative, right? So it's a good practice to get into. Always do it that way. Positive first, negative last. Going to take the spark plug out. Take spark plug out on this side too. Oil cap back on. All right. Okay. See what happens here when I turn the key on. bit of spark there. Oh yeah, spark there too. It's sparking. Well, we got the sparkles. So so to start out here, I'm gonna retard the timing a bit. At least favor the retarded side, if it's okay to say that. And then I'll get a timing light on here and try to fine tune it after that, and we'll just see how it goes here. There's probably going to be plenty of tuning with this thing down the road here, but it'd be cool if we can get it to fire off. Okay, plug's going back in. Alright, let's cinch that up. Pop that on. I think that should be okay. That's the hole we couldn't tighten the spark plug on before I started this whole process, because I couldn't tighten down that spark plug. It just kept turning and turning, and then I tried to fix it, and then it was tight in the thing, but then it was blowing past the insert. It was coming around the outside, so that should be good. The only last thing to do for this operation is put fuel in it. So I'm going to get my IV bottle, hook it up to this fuel line, and okay, so I got the fuel bottle hooked up above here. It's about half full of fuel, and I've put a fuel filter on it, and I'm just going to open this up, get the fuel flowing. There, you see this fill up. It's filling. It should stop. I think it's full. There. And then make sure nothing's dripping. Okay. Alright, fuel line's right full. Okay, we'll try to fire up the Ultimate Zombie Apocalypse bike with the new head. And I'll pull the choke. I gotta manually hold the choke here. Let's see what happens here. There goes nothing. Okay, well, it actually ran pretty good. It was idling there pretty good and stuff, but there's a couple problems. This gasket that seals this engine cover to the engine is leaking. It's dripping oil underneath here, so I'll have to address that. This carburetor is leaking fuel right out the back here, so it's obviously the float needle isn't working properly or something, so I'll have to address that. And this cylinder is blowing quite a bit of smoke. You probably could see. I'm not sure what that's all about. I don't know what that could be, because when the rings were good when I put it on here. Put new valve guide seals on here, so not sure if it just needs to run more or what. That could be a problem, but I'm not quite sure what's causing that. Yeah, just not sure. I think I'd like to get it outside so I can run it a little bit longer and kind of look at it, because I can't really be inside this little shop with it running, because it's obviously too smoky, too polluted, just too much of all that. All right, I think I'm gonna wheel this thing outside so I can run it and not choke to death. I'll probably start there. So we know we got an oil leak. We know we got a bit of a gas leak on this carb, but let's try running it again and see what's going on. Well, I would say that's definitely progress in the right direction. So as you can see here, I got an oil leak. What's happening is this gasket between here is gone, and it's just leaking. So that's not a big deal. I can fix that. And then if you look up underneath here, you can just see it's just running out right here. Yeah, that's not a huge deal. And all this smoke that's coming off here is just residual oil that's coming off the engine. Probably a clear up once I fix this, because some of it's actually just on the engine itself. It's smoking off, so that'll clear a lot of that up. But yeah, it's quite hot. Got quite hot sitting there. It needs to be driven down the road. But as far as the oh man, I just rattled all this loose. Crazy. Rattled the bolt right out of here. I don't think I ever tightened all that up, because I actually have to take this back wheel off again and do some more work. But yeah, I'm going to start it up in a bit here, and I'll let it cool down, and then I'll come back and start it up. And yeah, that's pretty cool. It's actually running pretty good. It's got a few little issues, but nothing we can't sort out here, eh? I'm pretty happy with that. It's definitely it's come a long ways. All right, I'll probably bring you back when I start it again. Okay, so it's been a few hours since I last ran the engine. It's nice and cool now. It got pretty hot sitting here last time I ran it, but we know it has an oil leak around here, so I'll probably fix that next video. And there's still something going on with the float needle valve seat thing, and it's causing it to, sometimes it floods the carb. So I'll deal with that when the carb kit comes in the mail. And I'm just gonna fire it up again. It was pretty smoky the first time I started it. It was smoking out of this side quite a bit. I'm hoping that'll clear up, obviously, because that's a major issue. Not sure why that was. It could have just been some residual oil down in the cylinders, or the rings weren't quite seating properly. But let's fire it up one more time before we put it away and just see how it's doing, okay? So we still have fuel in our bottle, and I'll just turn the fuel on there, and we'll fire it up. See if we can do this without any choke. I only got one hand. Well, maybe we need a little bit of choke here. Let's see, right here. Oh, choke. I know what's going on here. I'm gonna adjust something here. Let's see if you can see what I'm doing. So when I was playing around with it, I was messing with this air fuel mixture a bit, and I kind of lost track where it was. So it's closed. It's half, one, 2. I'll go 2.5 out. I heard it popping there a little bit, so that's usually an indication it's lean popping. So I'll just richen this air fuel mixture up a little bit. Okay, so oh, it's hard to see here. Okay, so that's closed. Half. 1. Half. 2. 2.5. Okay. Gotta hold the choke. Opened up the air fuel mixture through. Now it's a full 3 turns out. Probably end the video there. So that's really good. We got the engine running, and it's running not too bad. It's got a few issues to sort out. Definitely want to put a rebuild kit into those carburetors. It seems like the float needle might be seeping a little bit, allowing the fuel to overfill the carb. So that's a problem I'll have to look into. I was going to rebuild the carb anyways. It just, you know, it hasn't shown up yet. And it's the weekend, so I'm working on it. And what else? There's an oil leak around the clutch cover casing on the engine. That's okay. I can fix that. That'll sort that out. And then I'll probably do some fine tuning with the timing. Make sure I got that working out. I'll probably most likely do that when I got the carbs rebuilt and stuff. I'll get into the ignition timing and get that all dialed in and working right, and then, you know, keep running. I'll probably change the oil again pretty soon here, and probably when I go to do that clutch cover gasket, I'll change the oil then, and yeah, move on to other things. But yeah, pretty happy about that. I mean, that engine's come a long ways. It was it was right seized up and, you know, headed for the junkyard. So we turned that around. So that's pretty good. Anyways, I want to thank you for watching, and we'll see you again real soon. Center Stand Mechanics out.